Here we go.
I got the intro. Hello and welcome to Cash Furnace, where me and my co host Eric Down aim to become your go to source for crypto and stock market news. Today's date is February 14th. It's a Sunday, so welcome to our chill Sunday drive. We don't have any topics today. We kind of bullshit about the market, where we think things are going to go, general ideas, and ideas for trades going forwards. If you like what you see, you know what to do. Hit the big three: like, subscribe, comment, share it with some friends that you think could use this info. And with that, let's get started. So, stock market. You think it's going to be a big week moving forward, Eric?
Every single day, we get more and more. I see more and more charts posted in all like the discords I'm in that are just every single one is talking about how, basically how toppy we are right now.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah,
uh, I can't even. There are literally so many charts coming in that are just measuring so many things. Um, the one I think I'd literally just the one I saw most recently was that we saw the greatest inflow of capital into equities uh, in this, what was it, this month or something like that,
yeah,
ever.
yeah.
And it was
Yep,
predominantly into the tech sector.
yep.
Um, I mean, I almost, I almost wish I saved them all to discuss, but I don't know, dude. What's really tough is that there are so many opportunities, especially
Mm-hmm.
when you look. When like in anything in your life, you generally find what you look for.
Absolutely.
And you know, you and I and our peers are the type of people who look.
Mm-hmm.
And we're not alone, we're far from alone. But man, there are opportunities just everywhere. And
Yeah,
it's so hard to justify getting into so many opportunities when the market abroad just feels super toppy.
absolutely.
So,
I,
I mean,
I, I completely agree with you. And if you look at like comparisons and everything to how overbought we are, right now we're riding more overbought than the 99 2000 bubble,
yes.
.com bubble, right?
Yeah.
But it's the sentiment with everyone. Yes, it feels toppy, but everyone is pouring so much money into stocks right now. I really do see this continually running hot till like the end of the year almost. And then
Yeah.
and then that's where I'm really going to start poising for a downturn
Yeah.
for a while. And I think it's
It's
going to be a
just
bad one. I really do. But I'm like we always say, you have to be in the market, right, in order to make money. And as hesitant as we may feel right now, you take advantage of the opportunities that are being put in front of you.
right. That's exactly it. And,
Yeah.
you know, I feel bad for, anyone who is late to the game.
Mm.
Um, because as we've already seen with things like GameStop, with things like the weed sector, we see this just like rabid horde of brand new wet behind the ears, like, retail investors, brand new, downloaded Robinhood for the first time
Yep.
and just aping into shit based
Mm-hmm.
off of TikTok recommendations. And
Absolutely.
what's funny about this is there's two big issues here. Number one, these TikTok calls, when creator call, oh, these are gonna be the big five that are gonna pop this week. There's nothing actually wrong with that. You
Right.
know, even if the research that those people put in is not comprehensive, which honestly I think it rarely is, there's nothing necessarily wrong with them making those calls. And if I'm being honest, a lot of times they're right.
Mm-hmm.
The issue is they're two under like fundamental underlying sort of trade philosophies and investing philosophies that you don't get when you're a brand new trader. And even if someone tells you them, they don't seem cool. They're not interesting. They seem like
Mm-hmm.
grandpa advice. And
Right.
what they are is one of them's my favorite, right? Actually, you know what? Honestly, my one favorite line covers both of these things. And again, I've said it before, if you don't know why you're in, you won't know when to get out.
That's
I've
absolutely right.
I follow. I'm sorry, I don't follow, but I watch a bunch of these TikTok things. I'm in a bunch of Discords. I'm only active in one Discord, but I'm a member of like I don't know 15 different Discords, and I don't know, man.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe like once every 1 or 2 days, I'll just skim through the new messages and see what they're talking about. And a lot of times, with these Discords that are run by these creators or traders or whatever you want to call them, influencer traders. I don't know what you say,
Mm-hmm. I
and
think
they're
you'd
saying,
call them influencers. That's what
yeah,
they, I mean, they're just stock market influencers at this
yeah.
point.
So these stock market influencers, what they'll do is, like all of these rooms are the same. They say, I'm here are my trades. I'm gonna call them out. If
Yep.
you pay the premium, you'll get it early,
Mm-hmm.
and then of course they'll call out 10 things, and then they'll pick the one thing that did really well, and they'll hype it up.
That
Told
popped,
you,
yeah.
motherfuckers! I knew it. Called it a million
If
years ago. You all
you,
said I'm
if
wrong, and like,
Right, if you invested $1,000 when I called this, you'd make X. That's what
right.
every single one of them
It's
does.
such
Yes,
trash.
it drives me crazy.
But look, I will say this one thing. Consistently, a lot of them do offer this one piece of very accurate, very fair, and very true advice. They will never tell you when to sell, ever.
Mm-hmm.
And there's multiple reasons for this. Not the least of which is they don't know. You know,
Right,
they don't necessarily know when the right time is. But beyond that, when you sell is largely dependent on your trading style, philosophy, your account size, your goals,
your
you know,
risk management.
your risk.
Right,
Yeah, exactly. So the reason I feel bad for anyone coming in now is like that stuff, that type of advice is not only is it not fun and exciting, but it's also not prescriptive either. And that's not the fault of
right.
these influencers. That's just
Yeah,
the nature of
no,
what this
you're
advice is you have to decide when it's right for you to sell, whether you're at
right.
10% or you're 100% or 1,000% gain. And the problem
Yep.
is what if people are getting in with, foaming at the mouth, FOMOing at the mouth, um, in the market conditions that are in, when everything goes down,
Mm-hmm.
they're going to be left with no mental, utilities, no mental framework, no mental fortitude, strength, experience, training, whatever you want to call it, that is going to provide them the strength or knowledge to know what to do in that environment. When that happens,
Absolutely.
you and I
Yep.
are going to know what to do. We might even make
Yeah.
money on it, you know?
Right.
Um,
Well, actually, a good example of that is SNDL last week, right? This was a weed stock sundial that I believe you called out to the group. I thought it was good. I bought in, and it went from I think I got it at dollar two, and it topped all the way. It ran all the way up to like 487, I
yeah.
believe.
Yep.
It fucking ran last week. That's
Yep.
wild percentage gains. And it went up 50%, or sorry, 80%, and I sold 25% of my bag, and then it was up 120%, and I sold the rest of my bag,
Yep.
right? And the rest of the week, you're looking at this still flying up in the air, and you're like, shit, did I make a mistake? Did I make a mistake? Makes you want to buy in again when it's at the $4, just going parabolic. What happens? It hits that 487, stays there for like maybe an hour, and just absolutely shoots through the floor. And I guarantee you, a ton of people lost their ass on that because they didn't have the right risk profile when it came into investing in SNDL.
That's
You
right.
see that parabolic rise, you want to jump on that train. It's so enticing to, but you have to understand A, why you're getting into a trade, and B, where your profit levels are, where you're okay with being out for the rest of the ride.
Right.
Not everything is going to be Tesla, where you just buy and hold it forever, especially not very small cap, questionable market stocks like Sundial, right?
Right. Exactly. So, yeah, man, I don't know. So, just regard to like, coming back, bringing it back around to just like general market sentiment, I'm with you. You and I have
Yeah,
been, I mean, I know I've been in it long enough. I know you've been trading long enough. I know your equities trading, history isn't quite as long, right? But
no, no, not
um
nearly.
but I know that all of I know you developed all of your fundamentals in crypto, and all of those things transfer over. It's one
Right.
that they're
If
the same tools.
Yeah, it's the most emotional market in the world, so I feel like I actually will have an advantage when it comes to stock market investing in general once I get my time in.
Yeah,
But
exactly. So
right.
you're primed. You know what I mean? And like
Yeah.
you and I are okay if it takes a downturn. But man, I think about all my friends. All my friends. I mean, I'm sure it's happened to you. Just like you have tons of friends who have gotten into it just because of GameStop. I'm gonna hodl. Oh, what about Dogecoin? And I'm like, dudes,
If I hear the phrase short squeeze again this week, I'm going to blow up, dude.
dude,
Not everything is a short squeeze. Such a
no,
rare fucking occurrence.
I
Oh
know.
my god. And you look at the comments because for those of you that don't know, you have comments when it comes to trading apps like Webull, Robinhood, where you could look in on what people are saying about the stock. If I see short squeeze one more time with a stock that has no fucking shorts to it, has like 10%
No,
short volume, I'm gonna go nuts, dude. It's it's ridiculous.
yeah,
And it just goes to show you that there are, as you said, a lot of investors right now just throwing money in that don't know what they're doing. And if any of you are out there watching this, please focus on the fundamentals first, man. This is like anything in life that you want to get good at. Lifting, you want to get good at like the core lifts, right? Before you start doing, you don't go into the gym and do 800 sets of arm curls and tricep extensions, right? What you do is you go in and you learn how to bench, you learn how to squat, you learn how to deadlift, you learn how to overhead press. It's like the big four. Once you get good at that, the gains that will come from just those super, super fundamental basic movements are huge. And everything else is just cake on top. You add that in later.
yep.
Trading is no different. No different.
But there's there is one difference, Paulie. There is one difference.
Okay.
When you're in the gym and you're struggling to get to your eighth rep,
Mm-hmm.
on the bench, and you can't do it, and you don't have a spotter, and you drop the weight. What do? All right, toss it off to the side. You get up.
Yep.
You stand back up. You put the bar back up. You put the weights back on. You either walk home and try it again the next day or whatever. You take a break.
Right.
So fundamentals are really important. But when it comes to money, here's the problem. When you fail with your money,
Mm-hmm.
you don't get to come back in quite as easily. You don't walk back into the gym in the next day. When you
That's
blow
true.
your account up, you have not lived to trade another day. You're dead. And it's finite. You've run out of money. You have to go home. The casino doesn't want you. They're going to stop bringing you drinks. They're going to
Mm-hmm.
stop bringing you free hors d'oeuvres. The casino
Mm-hmm.
doesn't want you there if you don't have money anymore. You can't play. And I think that is like that's the toughest thing because that's why it's so exciting, right? Cuz you everyone wants their money to go up. But if you don't understand the fundamentals of how these simple mechanics of the market work and your money goes down, if it goes
Yep.
down, it goes away. The mechanics don't matter anymore because you have to delete the app. You have $0.
Yep.
You can't make a trade
Yep.
anymore. Who gives a fuck what a stop limit is? You can't trade. You know what I mean?
Here's
So,
here's the thing though. Here's the thing though. You earned enough money to put into the market, right? And it may not be the next day,
Well, yeah.
but you will earn money moving forward, and you'll be able to get back in. This time, you'll be smarter. You won't put that same amount of weight on the bar for the eighth rep to fail, right?
Right.
You'll put a little less. It's the same general principle, just over a longer time
Yeah.
span. That money lost is the cost of tuition.
It is.
I don't know, dude. If you and I put together the amount of money that we've lost, not just gained,
I don't want to. I don't want.
yeah, it would be a big number,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. I know.
It's
I know.
it's part of the learning process.
Yeah.
Man. It's just how it goes. And yes, it's very painful at first. Just
Yeah.
like you think it's the most embarrassing thing in the world when you fail at your first rep, or like you're stuck and some guy has to come help you out in the gym. It seems like the worst thing in the world.
Yeah.
But after a while, once you have experience in it, you learn that it's okay, it sucks, it's going to come back, and you adjust that risk profile so that next time you don't get stuck there with the bar stuck on your chest and you think you're going to die. Next time it happens, you fail slowly, or you're smart enough to have a spotter, and that spotter is your stop limit or something like that, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like there are ways to get through it, and people will learn.
Yeah. You can always make. It's true. You can always make more money, but I guess what the gravity of what I'm trying to get at is that, like, you know, you are potentially fucking around with your rent money. You're potentially fucking around with your grocery money. You're potentially fucking around with, who knows, your family money. I don't know. I guess that's my thing. I think your analogy is spot
I see
on.
what you're saying. Yeah,
You know what I
yeah.
mean? It's like that's not it's not just your game. It's not just your play money necessarily. Like that is, no matter what. Even if it's money, even if you set aside $1,000, said I'm willing to lose this. If you needed that $1,000, it's gone. If you say I'm gonna try and lift a heavy weight today, and you don't lift it, you're still gonna stand up.
True.
You're still gonna go home. You're still gonna be
True.
fine.
Yeah, yeah.
That's what I guess
see what you're
that's what
saying.
I mean. Yeah. So
But I would also argue, if anybody's out there that's watching this and you're playing with your family's food money or your rent money, you got bigger fucking problems
Stop.
right now.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be in the stock market.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be gambling your money, because that's what you're doing. You don't know how to play the game, and you think you're gonna come out on top, and your fucking mortgage or your rent is dependent upon this money. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
If you got lucky and you made 200%, great, dude. Take that rent money out of there and play with the free cash, and that's it.
Yeah.
If you lost some money, I'm sorry. Don't be so dumb. Don't be so dumb about it.
I always think about it like when you're gonna get into something, you know, you look at the experts, right? You always figure out who your heroes are, who the leaders are, who are the greats, whatever, and you look to what they say. Look, man, no experienced, successful in trader, investor, or anything like that has ever said stock market's free money, man. It's easy gambling.
No.
Every single one is going to give you the same advice that we just said. And you know why? Because there's a reason that everyone will say that and they won't say the other thing, because the other thing isn't true. And if it feels like it is, you don't know what you do. You don't know what you don't know. That's the point.
Right.
So
Yes, that's true.
you know, yeah, you got TikTokers coming in saying like, yeah, buy every SPAC, and they're all going up, and it just feels like, wow, I'm so good at this. No.
Yep.
Lucid,
So you lose your ass, man.
DCIV hasn't announced Lucid. Okay, fucking
Yep.
Pershing Square hasn't announced Stripe. It's
Yep.
all hype, dude. There are no fundamental, like, I'm sorry, those are specific references that are close to me, but I see CCIV on TikTok
No,
all
I
the time.
completely agree.
I'm like, dude, yes, it's a great prospect, but until it's real, and even if
It's exactly what it is. That is a spec play.
yes, it's
a
not a
spec
SPAC
play.
play, it's a
And-
spec play.
A spec play,
Yeah.
for those of you that don't know, means speculative. Means you don't know. It should be a tiny part of your portfolio, maybe 5%. And yes, you may, if you're correct with a spec play, you may make a lot of percentage gains off of that. Great, good for you. But the vast majority of them fail.
Yeah. I mean, keep in mind, you know, when you're trading, when you, the little guppy fish who just got dropped into the ocean right now, when you're trading against great white sharks, you're trading against huge whales, You're trading against people who know you and the market and the ocean and every square inch of it better than you do. So, you
They
know,
also know how you're going to think
yep,
when it comes to certain situations because you don't have experience. They
that's
know
right.
exactly when you're going to sell your shit. They know
Yeah,
exactly what psychological levels the price will be at where it'll be a high resistance because it'll be a nice
yep,
round even number. If it's $1 stock and it's going up to $2, chances are it's not going to break through $2 immediately, right? So
yep,
they'll set just enough money on top of that to take your money. Like
yep.
it's
They
ridiculous.
can
But
they can wave their tails and even, you know, push a little current, you know, affect the tide a
yep.
little in small degrees just to make
Hmm.
you think that the tide's coming in or giant waves coming in, you better get out of the way. They can do that stuff.
Yep.
And, you know, I don't know. Again, I don't want to harp on like CCIV because the thing is just like, you know, every TikToker, I just will use it as an example. Every effing TikToker's talking about that one. It's like, dude, even if that happens, that doesn't mean that Lucid's going to be a profitable company. Everyone's like, "Oh, CCIV,
That's the
it's
biggest
going to become
fucking
Lucid.
thing,
It's going to be
man.
the next Tesla." Like, who fucking
My
cares? It
God.
isn't. It isn't, right? That's the
Yep.
point. Is it isn't. You're and until Lucid is the next Tesla, it's a spec play. You're guessing, you're
And
gambling.
also, even if the merger was already announced, show me the numbers that actually puts Lucid at the valuation that
Yes.
CCIV is at already.
Yeah.
Because I don't see them right now.
Nope.
I don't see them.
And that's the
I mean,
thing.
granted, you can say the same thing about Tesla, right? You see the numbers that Tesla stock's trading at, and you're like, right now, that value may not be there. People are betting on the future value, but they have time in the market. They have they're first in the market, so they have that advantage.
They've got
They have
massive infrastructure,
yeah, exactly. There's
and
a
they've got
lot of things. There's a lot of reasons why you could bet on that future
yeah.
price. Lucid has pretty much none of that, or
They've
a
another.
very infinitesimal amount in comparison.
And keep in mind, I hope everyone knows this by now that Tesla is not a car company, right?
Yep.
If it needs to be said, Tesla's not a car company. At smallest, they're an energy company. At smallest, they're an energy company.
They're a data company just like all the rest of
Yeah,
the big boys.
you know, because
It's just driving data.
right, but if
Right.
anybody is like, you know, if anyone's trying to compare Lucid to Tesla, good fucking luck, dude. Because
Yeah.
Tesla, yeah, you got car, sure, you got car, you got battery technology in general, right? You have solar, you've got
Yep.
manufacturing. Don't forget about that. Who knows what's going to happen with SpaceX next? You know, like
Mm-hmm.
this is it's such a multifaceted beast that then you just compare it to Lucid, which makes cars. I'm like, how can you ever compare these two things? By the
It's
way,
hype cycle right now. What?
I don't know if you ever. So have you ever seen any photos of the Lucid cars?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, what do you think?
I think they look actually pretty good, dude. I'm not gonna lie.
Have you
I
seen
like
the
the look of
inside?
them. No, I haven't.
Okay, hang on. Uh, once you see, okay, let me ask you this: do you like what the Tesla, you know, you know,
I don't
super
know.
sleek modern look is?
I'm on the fence. I like the giant screen and everything, but personally I'm a tactile person. I like being able to control a volume knob and push a button for my aircon and stuff. I don't like the fact that it's all just a screen, but that's also I've never had a car that was purely screen driven, so I don't know. I guess I could learn to enjoy that, but not so much for me right
I
now.
so here, can you see this? So
Hmm.
that's the interior of Lucid. And here's the thing that stands out to me about this. Actually, hold on, let me bring up. Maybe I can bring up a Tesla one. Well, whatever, man. We've all seen the inside of the Tesla.
Yeah.
It's just super clean, super sleek, super modern, simplistic. You know, it's like the definition. It's like they operate off of like one of my favorite design and creativity philosophies, and that is perfection is reached not when nothing else can be added, but when nothing else can be removed. And
Yep.
I feel like Tesla really, really took that philosophy to heart because there's damn near nothing in that car. Um, I look at the interior of this car. If you told me that this was a 2022 concept Toyota Camry, I would believe you.
Yeah. Okay.
Because it
I
doesn't
see where
look
you're going.
it doesn't look like anything different. And I have to say this: I saw this video on TikTok of like the inside. Someone was sitting on the inside, like playing with it, and they touched the touchscreen and did a swipe up, and the frame rate was like 1 FPS, and I was like, how
Uh,
could how could anyone let that go on the internet? And all the
mhm.
comments was like the lag. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Anyway, well, we're really spinning off here, but I'm not
Yeah,
sold
we
on
are.
Lucid, man. I'm really not.
Hmm. Not yet, at least. No,
No.
but like we said, we need the numbers.
Yeah.
I'd rather miss out on gains than not lose my ass.
Yeah. Well, you know what, Polly? Speaking of numbers, do you have any prospective
Mm.
plays you're looking at this week?
I do. Funny you ask. No, Eric's asking that because I sent a huge one to the group chat. I did a bunch of DD on just earlier today that actually ties in with our last Sunday drive, right? So you were talking about iron in the United States, right? And how you had a couple plays, you heard about a couple plays, and I think it was MT that was printing money essentially in the beginning, right? And it got me
Yeah.
thinking about just what utilizes iron, and I talked about the shipping container difference between what is being sent from China and what is being sent from the United States, right? For every 4 shipping containers full of goods that we receive in the United States, we send back 1 to China. And for everybody that's not in the know, it's not cost effective at this point in time to ship back an empty container. So we essentially, for every ship that comes into port, have 3 empty shipping containers sitting in the United States right now. So there is a massive, massive glut of shipping containers. So I said I was thinking about looking into some shipping container plays coming into next week. And I think that I found a pretty good one for this week. So the play is SGBX. And what they do is they're a company that specializes in taking these containers, used containers, and converting them into mobile units. They could be residential, they could be restaurants. They have a couple Starbucks on their portfolio. They have a couple Taco Bells on their portfolio. They have a couple Chipotles on their portfolio. They create buildings out of these excess shipping containers. Now, the cool thing is actually not in what they're currently doing with commercial and residential. The cool thing that gets me excited is the numbers of their balance sheet, which are beautiful. These guys could be creating paper airplanes for all I care. And if I saw these numbers on their balance sheet, I would invest in the company. It's that good. So we're talking zero debt, not a dime in debt, $13 million on their balance sheet right now in assets. That's great right off the bat.
Yeah. Good start.
They have a minimum expected gross revenue increase of 400% for this year. Also fucking great.
Wow.
They have $24 million in back orders already to their company, which they're so far behind in orders that they won't be able to get through this backlog in estimated 24 months, right? So I guarantee you what they're going to do is they're going to be throwing a ton of that extra spare cash they have into expanding their production. So I bet you that's a guaranteed 24 million for the next year and a half, right? Guaranteed onto their sheet. On top of this, we have the supply glut that I'm talking about when it comes to shipping containers, which we haven't seen reflected on their Q1, Q2 orders yet, because that just really started ramping up December, January this year. They have a partnership with Blink. Have you heard of Blink, Eric?
Oh, I know. I'm very
So
familiar
a
with Blink.
big company in one of the most hyped up markets right now, which is the EV space. They're basically planning to set a bunch of mobile solar based EV charging stations
Wow.
across the US. And what do they plan on using? SGBX converted shipping containers as the like place you could sit in there, have a coffee, or utilize like the hold their charging cells, etc. So they have an exclusive partnership with Blink for that,
Wow.
who's planning to expand across the country. And on top of that, they have a partnership with a silent partner, but they are in the COVID-19 testing specialties,
I'm
right?
seeing that. Yeah.
And they currently have a small testing contract going with KLM Royal Dutch Airlines, where they're testing their mobile COVID facilities. So, I mean, I am very, very bullish on this company, especially if this test case works out for Royal Dutch Airlines. If that gets expanded across, imagine all of the airlines in the US, right? Because that's one of the big problems we're having. How do you screen all these people if they're going to take a flight, right? You want them outside of the airport so you don't have to have a major lockdown, right? Where everybody's inside and it already has a high probability of spreading throughout a ton of people. And these guys are primed to set up at every single airport. It would be easy for them to just ship a pre-made container, ship like 6 of them outside of every major airport in the United States, and have their testing go through them, right? It's very enticing to me. Plus, if we look at the chart, it had a pretty parabolic rise from the $3 to $9
I remember that. Yeah.
it hit real hot, and it's cooled off for a while now. And I think we still have a little bit more downwards to go, but it's sitting relatively well at the $6 mark. With all these numbers in mind and the fact that it's holding relatively well right around $6, I think next week I'm going to make a play, a very long-term play, by either buying leaps of this stock because
options.
IV has dropped. There's no options for it. Fuck. So
Nope.
I'm gonna have to buy long-term stock, which I'm okay with.
Yeah.
That keeps me less emotional anyway.
Yeah.
But that's the play, I believe.
So, Paulie, I'm interested. I mean, obviously, you've stacked a compelling case here. I'm interested. I've been just doing like sort of cursory research while you've been talking about this, and I'm wondering about two things here. So, really cool, right? That they have you said $24 million in back orders.
Back orders
So
already
that's amazing.
that they cannot fill right now at current capacity for 2 years, 24 months.
And these back orders, if I'm understanding their if I'm understanding their business properly, they basically they build buildings out of shipping containers. And I know
Yes.
I don't think that's not a new. I guess it's a fairly new concept. I mean, I think we're all familiar with it.
It's been around. It's been
Yeah.
around for a while, but it's been by very small, highly specialized companies.
Yeah, and well, so I'm on their site now, and I'm seeing some of the work they've done. Mini Cooper, Puma, like you said, Starbucks. I mean, some of these buildings, you look at these things, you would never guess that these were shipping containers. It's really cool.
Right.
And these are
Right.
all companies that, like, if you've ever seen a shipping container house, like, it's a fucking cool aesthetic. So
Yeah.
the cards are stacked in their favor right now in the sense that they have a lot of orders. I would love to know who those orders are for, really. And and supply is in their favor, right? We've got tons of shipping containers, so they've got all sorts of material to work with. What I wonder is, I guess the two things that stand out are, like, first of all, what I want to know what they're doing to keep up with their demand, and number two, what happens if that supply of shipping container eventually starts to wane?
Yeah, absolutely.
What does that mean for them?
Those are both very good questions. the biggest thing in that is the supply of shipping containers, right? And I don't know a single analyst out there that thinks the United States within the next 5 to 10 years is going to be exporting more to China and various other Asian countries than we are importing. If that ever does change, that obviously has a very big um, obstacle in the way of this company and its profitability. And you have to rethink the whole theory that I just put down, right? The whole thesis of
Well,
that this stock is going to go up.
I mean, I don't know.
However,
I think your
however,
thesis.
I,
Go ahead. Go ahead. Sorry.
yeah, but I think one of the more bullish things is even if shipping containers did, the cost of them did rise up.
Hmm.
Um, I think as a building material, a shipping container is a very solid structure and is really, really cheap
Yeah, it's way cheaper
compared
compared
to,
to
yeah,
building
compared to
materials, which are
traditional buildings. Right, right,
yeah,
exactly. If you
especially
get a
which are
steel
inflated.
beam manufactured for you, that's fucking expensive. If you could link and weld together two shipping container units, that's way, way cheaper.
Yeah, and I mean, and as we've discussed in previous episodes, like building materials are massively inflated right now because their supply is
Yeah.
their production and
It's like
therefore
a
supply is low.
average 312% increase from a year and
Yeah,
a half ago.
so
Yeah.
they're in a good position. I'm also trying to take a look and see who some of their competitors are and see how many competitors they have.
Hmm.
And this is interesting. Yeah, but what I mean, if I've from what I've read in the residential construction space, the even how do I say, even if there is a constriction of supply of building materials, whether it's steel, wood, or shipping containers, what I've been reading a lot of is that basically that cost will get passed on to the customer anyway.
Hmm. Yeah.
So in terms of SG's uh, profitability, it doesn't really change their profitability. If the cost of a shipping container goes up $1,000, then the cost of the final building goes up $1,000 to Starbucks. So
Right.
they
That
still
just
make
makes
yeah.
it just makes me worried about the amount of orders and everything that comes in if they have to increase their rate that much. However, I still think even if it went up by $1,000 a container, right? I still think that's much cheaper than buying in building in a traditional sense.
Well,
Add
yeah,
on top of that, add on top of that, the eco space. Everybody loves recycled materials now, right?
yep.
It's like you're doing the planet a favor, you're doing your neighbor a favor, you're utilizing resources that would normally go to waste, and that's what they're doing. They're not building these shipping containers. They're using old ones that no longer have a use case, right? And people love to buy into the idealism of that kind of that kind of company where they think, okay, I'm doing something good here as well, so I'm willing to spend an extra 3% on building materials.
I mean, I think it's a compelling case, and like I mean, I
Mm.
would love to. I wish I could figure out. I wonder if there's a way we could figure out, like for instance, some of the Starbucks that they've built. You know, figure out how much it costs to build that Starbucks, and then because there's
That
probably a
would be,
Star, well, then go
yep.
there, and then because there's probably a Starbucks a block away from that Starbucks, because that's
Hmm.
the Starbucks business model. I wonder if you could find out how much a regular Starbucks cost to build.
No,
I don't know.
that would be some really cool research
I
because
wonder if we can.
I don't know either.
Here's what I'm gonna do, man. I'm just gonna email them. They have an investor
Okay.
relations link on their
Right,
website.
right.
Why not? I assume that that's what that's
Yep.
for. The other thing that I find interesting, I love when this happens, is again I've just been like sort of very broadly researching the SG blocks and all this stuff. Um, Zoom info, Owler, I'm hopping on all these sites trying to look up their competitors. What I love is that their competitors are all shipping container companies, but just in the sense that they like make and ship shipping containers.
Mm-hmm.
They're not constructing, you know.
They
I
are
don't.
definitely they're not the only one out there.
Sure.
However, I think they are the first well-established major contractor dealing specifically in shipping containers out there right now.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's I think that's the big thing. I'm looking at a lot of these, and
They are absolutely dominating this niche right now,
yeah,
without a doubt.
it looks
And we
like it.
both know how powerful first in market can be.
Yeah. Oh,
Hmm.
I totally agree. I mean, I'm looking, man, this is fun. This is a fun one, man. I'm looking at one of their competitors, Iconic, right now, but they're it's not not quite the same. They're not working on, well, yeah, they are. All right, I don't want to just I don't want to just speak errantly while we're on the show, but it's an interesting play. I wonder. I'm looking at this one company, Iconic, right now. Looks pretty together, but I don't think they're public. Yeah, man, Paulie, I'll jump in on this with you.
Yeah.
I also passed it on to the Discord to you know, I the Discord generally likes when I toss some of our ideas in there and they rattle them around a little bit.
Cool.
And we'll see, because as soon
We'll
as I
see if
drop a
they tear
name,
them apart.
yeah, they go in deep, and
That's
they
as you should. And that's the best part, I think, about joining the group chat with you guys this year, right? Because you guys aren't afraid to pick the other side to play devil's advocate, and that's how you get a high conviction trade from a theory, right?
yeah
If I can answer every single one of the devil's advocate subjects that you guys bring up with like very high conviction, what comes out of that is my argument feels even stronger, my theory feels even stronger, and I feel safer to jump into this trade and
hmm
hold for the long term, right? That's how you grow as a trader and as like someone that's speculating on where a company's going to go. That's how you get better.
yeah.
You can't just have a bunch of yes men in your corner. Otherwise, you'll never grow.
You know who else shares that philosophy?
No.
Kathy Wood. I was
Your favorite girl.
was watching the watching I was listening to the Arc podcast. Or no, actually it was Odd Lots, but they had
She
brought.
would have a podcast now.
She does, yeah. She's had it for a few years, actually. I just started
Oh,
listening to it.
really?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not her, it's her team, but I think she's on it every once in a while. I'm not sure. But
Dude, you know the people on her team are fucking aces anyway. It doesn't
oh,
matter.
100%,
You're learning
100%.
from that. Yeah.
Yeah. I think I was listening to a different one. It was Odd Lots, and they brought on one of the lead, you know, I don't know, researchers or whatever the hell their title is.
Hmm.
And they were saying, you know, Kathy Arc is very well known for crowdsourcing their DD. And in the
Hmm.
sense, basically, that their analysts are very active on Twitter, and will say, "All right, here's my new thought on this play," and whatever it is, and they'll put it out on Twitter, and they'll let the piranhas, you know, rip it up, and they very
Yep.
much openly say, like, this is the best way to do it, because look, at the end of the day, we are one firm filled with a bunch of talented analysts, but just sort of like the hedge funds versus Wall Street bets,
Hmm.
at a certain point there's a compelling case to be made about sheer manpower.
Right.
And so they'll put a tweet out about a sector, and then, you know, but they might get a random person who happens to work in that sector, who sees this tweet and says, actually, here's how it is,
Right.
boots on the ground. And they'll be like, oh shit, we never thought about that. Okay, let's keep
Hmm.
thinking. It's the exact same philosophy, you know? Got to
And
be willing.
not only that, but when they put it out there, they get the general sentiment of the hive mind at that
Exactly.
point, of the everyday investor that really is going to drive up or down the price of this stock, whatever stock that may be.
Right.
So yeah, I think that's fucking genius. I think I mean everybody knows it now, but I think she was ahead of her time with all of that,
Well, the one
utilizing that.
I will say this though, you know, I've like I said, I already tossed it to the into the Discord, I'm already getting a few responses. And the first question right away is why their decline, right? So if you look at anyone who's listening to this, here, I'm bring up their chart. You know, you look at their chart long term, they're 10 years, something like that. You know, they used to be up in the, like around one in the between over 100, and they declined. Then, and this is in 2018. They were over 100, almost 125, and then they just started declining, heavy. You know, the stock is trading at $6 now, and so the first question right away from the Discord was why did this happen? And I can see they're already cooking on it because they're looking into the financials and saying it's just disappointing revenue. So the question is now the question is, why was the revenue disappointing? Was their business model not fleshed out enough? Was the demand for this sector not high enough? Were they too ahead of the curve trying to provide a product that people didn't want yet and now they do?
That was gonna be my point. I think 5 years ago, a shipping container home was very much niche, kind of like hippie or uber modern thing to do, or a shipping container store or anything like that. And it's also the costs of creating a shipping container home as they've built a business model, manufacturing model, as they made it more efficient. The cost has come drastically down. So now it's even more appealing for a company to get into this sort of modular building, right?
Yeah.
So I think that's my biggest theory. But I did see that, and I should have brought that up in the group chat when I sent it, because I completely forgot to.
I mean, it's all good.
Speaking of the Discord, so we don't hang too long on this one stock, I'd like to say you announced yesterday they are looking very heavily into our favorite grandpa stock, Facebook.
Yeah.
So I wanted to hear some of the reasonings why. Outside of my own bullish perspective, I mainly am I'm betting on the crypto side of things. I'm betting on Facebook becoming the biggest bank in the world within this quarter. Do they have any other theories, or is that mostly what they're backing right now?
No, well, honestly, what they really pointed out was, you know, there was some general chatter about the FANGs and how all the FANGs are just kind of in limbo right now, and and then they pointed out Facebook, and they're like, guys, Facebook, just like everything else, is just kind of, you know, it's just kind of like hovering, but it's hovering at a insanely lower multiple than all of the other companies, which is the first point you ever brought up.
What is the P to E ratio right now of Amazon?
Hang on, my calculator doesn't go that high. Here, let me see. Whoops.
For everybody watching, P to E is price to earnings ratio.
Right. So, it's currently 78.
Okay, 78. Okay. Now put in Apple.
Yep, I was just about to. All right, Apple. 36.
36. Facebook is low 20s.
Yeah, let's see. 26.
26 for the largest data, highest user base company in the world.
Netflix, 94.
I mean, just that in your mind should have you thinking, why the fuck is this so undervalued? I need to buy this right now. That's mind-boggling, dude. Right. The amount of data that these guys have, they know everything about you. They know everything about you. They know what you like. They know what you look at on Instagram. They know what you think about buying.
Yep.
They know what kind of companies you contact. They know where you go on Facebook Marketplace to buy like third-party stuff. It's crazy the amount of data Facebook has on you.
And
now, even if they don't add in this crypto Q1, right? Because they're getting sued to shit. by all the the European Union as well as the United States government, right? Which I think is completely ironic considering this happened to be right before the quarter before they planned to launch their crypto that would happen to make them the largest bank in the world spanning across multinational borders. And somebody like Amazon who buys everyone, or if they can't buy them, if they say no, just creates a cheaper competitor and puts them out of business,
Yep.
isn't getting sued. You can't tell me that that doesn't smell a little fishy.
I mean,
I'm convinced it's because these legislators are absolutely terrified of the loss of value of their common currencies. The EU would tank in value if all of a sudden Facebook becomes the most utilized crypto asset in the world. If that replaces the US dollar, if that replaces the EU, they lose a ton of power, a ton of purchasing power.
so man, this is it's such a this is such a fascinating discussion, right? Because it lies at this intersection of so many things that are so close to our everyday lives, right? We're talking about the FANGs. We're talking about the companies that every single one of us uses, right? Facebook, Apple, Amazon, Netflix, Google.
Right.
You know, even heck, you can toss Microsoft in there if you want. And we're talking about cryptocurrency, which is like obviously super hot for the world, especially
Yeah.
people of our age. It's really cool to see all these things converging. And yeah, I think it's a really compelling argument that, you know, out of all of the FANGs, Facebook is lagging behind so much. And like what I wonder is, we talked about this on a previous episode. You know, you think about the value of becoming the world's largest bank. And you think about some of the players who are already in it, right? You have people like PayPal and Square. They're not the largest bank, you know, but they do function as a bank for some people. You know,
Yep.
you can
Absolutely.
store your money on there. It's already happening, and all they have to do is call that USD, and all they have to do is call it, you know, PayPal dollars, you know, PayPal coin, Square coin, you know,
Yep.
Diem. The question is that, man, who is? I don't know. I guess I'm trying to think
Who's
about,
going
like,
to trust them like more than a traditional bank?
well, not only that, I actually don't think the trust is a big deal, to be perfectly
do
honest
I.
with you, because I
Yeah.
think people,
I don't think
you know,
people trust banks.
people don't trust
I don't
banks.
think people trust banks anyway. So
Yeah, I
yeah.
agree. I'm just wondering, out of all of them, who's going to strike first and hardest? Because, you know, like we've talked about, Facebook has the most human data, right? But if we're talking about money, who does the most commerce? And we know who that is.
Yeah.
So,
I absolutely agree. So here's the one caveat that I think is going to kind of catapult Facebook to the top in the beginning, and it's all the people that are in rural, in underdeveloped countries that currently don't have access to banks, right?
yeah,
If all of a sudden, simply because you have a Facebook profile and you know you owe your neighbor some money and they have a Facebook profile and you could just send that to them instantaneously, it's recorded on a ledger. That knowledge is there forever. It can't be taken away. And where traditionally you would have to go to a bank, set up a bank account in order to make this happen, or withdraw cash in order to give him cash, or if your national currency inflates by a ridiculous amount every year, Venezuela, and they have a huge Facebook user base profile, and if you just keeping Diem keeps your money's value throughout the years as everything else astronomically raises, I mean, it's an easy shoe-in. It's so
yeah.
easy.
No, I think you're right. And interestingly
Yeah.
enough, Chris, I know you're not on the show today, and I think you're busy. But it also probably has big implications for little newcomers like Humble. So I know
Very
Humble's
true.
trying to do that, but
Yep.
Facebook
Yep.
is already on the phone.
That's
Already on their
absolutely right.
phones. Anyway,
Yep.
I the Discord isn't talking about much in the crypto area. And actually, I wouldn't mind jumping back in. Actually, I'm gonna what I'm gonna do today. I'm gonna jump into the crypto channel and say, so what do we think about Facebook becoming the world's largest bank? I'm just gonna let them sort of chew on that for a while.
I do
I'll
want to
let you know.
say I did apply to get into that
Okay, thank you, thank you.
Discord. So
You need to be there.
hopefully I'll be in there soon enough.
Yeah, you
But
need to be swinging your fucking bat. Um, so yeah, man. I mean, but overall, frankly, I would say almost independent of the crypto argument, I still think just Facebook is just a good buy right now.
yeah, I think just traditional investments outside of my crazy theoretical how far a crypto asset can go. The fact that it's trading at such a low PE is kind of outrageous in my mind, and I think it's just a matter of time before
Yeah.
it starts popping off like everything else.
Okay, so our upcoming plays for this week, we've got SGBX.
Yes.
Facebook isn't really an upcoming play, but
No, we've been so
we've
heavily
yeah, we were in it.
invested in that.
Yeah.
I don't need to put any more money in it.
Right, me neither, me neither. Um yeah. I think those are the big two standouts this week, if I recall correctly. Yeah.
Well, and I think some of the guys in our group chat are going to be talking about not consumables. What were you just talking about in the chat?
Oh, like
Um,
um, well, they were taught. They're, I mean, they, energy and
yes. What is the? It starts with a C. I can't think of the word. My God, having a brain fart.
I don't know.
Um, hold on, people. Commodities.
Ah,
Jesus.
oh my God, yeah,
They were talking heavy about oil in the upcoming days. We have uranium chats we're talking about. We already gave you guys a little insight into the lithium plays
yep,
that we're doing right now. We have an active lithium play and in ALB right now. So hopefully we'll get a couple of the guys on and we can kind of chat and BS tomorrow since the market is closed. Happy President's Day. Thanks for that day off.
yeah.
I
Thanks,
guess.
thanks, Washington.
Yeah, thanks for closing the fucking markets on us. Um, I have work. It's funny. I was talking to my friends and I was like, normally I'd be excited to have work off, but I have work off and the market's closed. So
Sucks.
so I'm not that excited. Yeah. But I guess I need more hobbies. But yeah, hopefully we'll have the guys on tomorrow. We'll talk commodities. We'll get some good theories in there. Um, we have a couple guys that are thinking oil's gonna jump soon. And yeah, we'll continue to bring you guys some cool ideas, some new theories, and market news when we open again on Tuesday. So,
Beautiful.
anything else to add, Eric, before I
No,
close us out?
I think close us out, Paulie. That's a good one.
All right. Well, if you like what you saw today, you know what to do. Like, subscribe, comment, hit that notification bell so you know when we go live. And we'll see you tomorrow. Help us make more people more money.
That's right.
Cash Furnace out.
Cash Furnace out. All right.